Hi, everyone, and welcome to KREM2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. It is good to see you on this Friday afternoon. We do have some breaking news. This is coming out of Idaho, where tension between the state's top leaders. Governor Brad Little has issued a repeal of the executive order banning any mask mandates. That was issued by the state's lieutenant governor yesterday while the governor was out of state. So Governor Little commented on Twitter saying, quote, "I do not like petty politics. I do not like political stunts over the rule of law. However, the significant consequences of the lieutenant governor's flimsy executive order requires me to clean up a mess." Little's order restores the rights of cities and local governments to enact mask mandates if they indeed want to do so. This does impact specifically Lake City High School in Coeur d'Alene, which announced this morning it would not enforce its mask requirement, following what the district says was its worst outbreak this year. Now, the Idaho State Constitution states that the lieutenant governor does assume the governor's role when he or she has a, quote, temporary absence from the state. Now, this is the first time McGeehan has acted as governor since last June. McGeehan has already announced that she will run against Governor Little in the Republican primary when Little is up for re-election coming up in 2022. All right, it is just 2 minutes past noon right now. We do have a continuing big story in our region. Lori Vallow-Daybell has been declared not fit for trial. So yesterday she was ruled mentally unfit to stand trial in the murder case against her children. Vallow is the mother of Rexburg kids, JJ and Tylee. Their remains were found on her current husband, Chad Daybell's property earlier in the year. So the Idaho couple was indicted on murder and conspiracy charges in the deaths of the two kids, as well as Daybell's first wife, Tammy Daybell. Lots to this story. Now, with a decision about her being deemed unfit, all criminal proceedings against Vallow have been halted. The orders were issued by a judge, Stephen Boyce. Boyce's ruling came after Vallow was examined by a licensed clinical psychologist. So again, we'll continue to track that story as many changes continue to come. A lot of people across the country are heading out on trips for the long weekend. Nicole Hernandez taking us through what you need to know before hitting the road this coming weekend.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of people on the roads this morning, but it's not looking too busy compared to normal. So take a look out at I-90. We've got a good look here. You can see that there are definitely people traveling this morning both directions, but nothing crazy, not too much traffic. So AAA says that road trips are actually the most common way people are traveling for Memorial Day. They're projecting to see 60% more travelers this year compared to last year in the whole country. Here specifically in Washington, 66% more travelers. That's because last year at this time, of course, we were in the height of the pandemic. We saw a huge decrease in Memorial Day travel in 2020. So even though we're seeing that 66% increase this year, AAA actually says it's still less than a normal year.
So while we're having a big surge this year compared to last year, it's still fewer people than we recorded traveling in 2019, about 6 million fewer people this year than in 2019.
Since we are still feeling the effects of the pandemic, AAA suggests people should plan around COVID regulations in every place they visit. And of course, don't forget those masks. If you are heading out onto the road today, you actually just missed the travel rush. Yesterday was the busiest travel day for the roads, but today is the busiest travel day for airports. So I actually pulled up all the flights for the Spokane International Airport today. You can see just how many flights they have scheduled heading out for the weekend. So if you are headed out this weekend, make sure you get there just a little bit early in case there is extra travelers. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, appreciate the update. 12:04 right now. Let's take a live look outside. Lots of cloud cover. Big puffy cottony clouds, Jeremy, out there over Lake Coeur d'Alene. However, it's been somewhat of a sunny start to the weekend as we're starting that early. We like to start early on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to know what to expect for the rest of the weekend. So you're the man in the hot seat.
I'm the man in the hot seat. All right, here we go. Yesterday, I was in a different kind of hot seat. Today, we're in this one. So let's let you know what to expect. Laura was right. Today, we saw a lot of sunshine a little bit earlier, but as we head into the afternoon, I think this is more of what you can expect. It's going to be mostly cloudy or partly sunny, however you want to describe it. It's one of those ones where we're really floating that fine line. And when it comes to the wind, expect it to stay about where it is until the sun goes down tonight, and then we'll watch that wind subside, and overnight, wind really calms down, and that plays a huge role in what we wind up seeing as we head into the day on Saturday. We are already up to close to 60 degrees in Spokane. Coeur d'Alene falling behind, 56 there, 55 in Sandpoint. You head out west, it's a little bit warmer out in central Washington. But here you go, those clouds, they're doing the thing the clouds do every once in a while, and that is put down some isolated sprinkles, most of those north of town. Really, it's going to be north of Deer Park where you find a bulk of that moisture, and then up in some of the higher elevations as you, say, go up and over Lookout Pass. That's where it stays, but then overnight we start clearing out and drying out. In a big way, that is. So today, mid-60s for us. Overnight, winds calm, skies clear, and you know what that means. That means it's going to be a cold start to the day on Saturday. There is no doubt about it. So the weekend starts out cold, but trust me on this one, it warms up and warms up quick. 70s, 80s, and near 90 by the time we get to Memorial Day.
All right, big changes. Thank you, Jeremy. We'll check in with you in just a few moments. Do want to mention that both lanes of I-90 are back open after two moose wandered near the highway earlier this morning, not long after the first sighting of the moose on the loose, as we love to say, did the Washington Department of Transportation post this, Twitter, post on their account. She told me, don't be taken by surprise when you see the picture, but I'm laughing as I'm looking at it. This awesome drawing, somebody having a little fun as we head into the long weekend. Yeah, the State Patrol began to slow traffic as the moose did approach the highway. Okay, now we're looking at a distant shot, but now we're looking at the real deal, okay? It was in an effort to not only save, of course, the animals, but the commuters and the folks that were headed to work this morning. The closures lasted about an hour before the moose then decided to move on. They had things to do, Jeremy. They moved on. Finding a campsite open in Idaho may be a little bit harder to nail down. We'll try to find some places you can still reserve coming up for the weekend.